How y'all doing? Good afternoon, good afternoon. I want to come to you all with an explanation. Most of you all have seen, the obvious physical change of me cutting my hair. And a lot of you all who follow me know me personally, at least from my place of work, place of business. And many have asked the question as to why the change? Why'd you cut your hair? Why are you changing jobs? And are you coming back? The reason why I left the job I was at, export, and the reason why I cut my hair was to get a full restart. And what I mean by that is most people have the notion of, new year, new me. I don't believe in that. I fully believe in new year, same me, new level. To explain further, in the 2 years that I was at export, there were good times. I was able to learn and grow, but in growing, there has to be transition. In order to grow, that it must mean that you were at point A in the beginning, but you're moving to points B and C as you move towards the future. Now, in this past year, specifically in 2018, there were things that I allowed myself to become involved with. There were actions that I allowed myself to take part in that went against my true values, my true core as to who I am, or rather who I am looking to become, what I'm looking to get to. They were playing games. There are those that know in-depth information. Not all need to know every little detail, but to give you some insight, there are things that I deal with. There are issues that I have that I am continuously battling. And it is only now, after this recent course of events, that I have taken hold of the truth of these issues to give you insight. I deal with issues of anger, issues with honesty, issues with sexual immorality, issues with chemical dependency and abuse. Now, because of our society, a lot of these things, a lot of these issues that I deal with and that many others deal with are looked on as small things, something that you can manage and continue to live your life with. In a sense, for some people, that may be true, but not all of us. You see, unfortunately, I accepted society's explanations of these issues that I deal with as things that I could control, as small things that are a part of everyday life, when in truth, that is not the case. For me and for many others, these issues are deep-seated, and they're not just something that is on the surface. It is a mental issue. We as a society are now starting to evolve better and understand where these issues come from. When it comes to issues of abuse or issues of neglect, these are things that aren't just put on you by society. These are things that tend to be passed down through the bloodline. And because of such, the initial installment of these issues happened when we were very young. Just about all my issues started before the age of 4. And so they were extremely deep-seated and planted in. So no matter how far I started to move away from these issues, ignoring them was never the answer. But that's what I did. I would write them off as, oh, okay, you may say it's an issue, but it's just something once I get control of it, I can do it on an everyday basis and it's gonna be good, which wasn't the case. And it wasn't until a recent course of events that I really came to clarity about the truth about myself. I do not accept the denotation or the labelment of, oh, you're an alcoholic, you're a sex addict, oh, you're an angry person. When you do that, when people do that to you, it's more than just damaging on the surface. What it does is it hands you a label, and when you hear something enough, you identify with that label. And the issue with that is that once you've identified with that label, once you have supplanted in your mind, this is something that I am, it becomes extremely difficult for you to get over and get past it. Now, 9 times out of 10, the people that are giving you this information most of the time are loved ones, people that care about you. It's not that they want you to identify with this label, with this issue. They want you to identify that you have this issue because they care for you. The dangerous part about this is when you give somebody a label, in the subconscious mind, you hold on to it. And because you hold on to it, no matter what good you may be trying to do in your life, no matter what breakthroughs and growth you're trying to reach, it will be extremely hard because you've held on to this identity in the back of your mind. Thankfully, and by the grace of God, I've been able to let go of that identity and yet still acknowledge that I deal with these issues. You see, previously, I would tell myself that, oh yeah, it's something I deal with, but it ain't no big thing. It's something that, I can handle and control. And for my substance abuse and my anger issues and my sexual immorality, I had previously gone to Celebrate Recovery. You may have seen it on my post last week. I go every Friday now because I need to. I'm finally in the understanding that these issues are not something that I can handle on my own, that I need help. And for me, that was difficult because if you know me, I'm a person that I exude power and control over my life. I fully believe in speaking things into existence. But the truth of the matter is, it's not what you speak, but what you think. You can say out loud whatever you want, but it's not until you believe it in your own mind that it will be allowed to come to fruition. One of my first steps in this restart for me was cutting my hair. What a lot of people don't realize with locks, nowadays locks tend to be, it's a style, it's popular, it's what's hot, but I've had locks all my life. And there's a level of understanding that many don't yet have. It's the fact that your hair is connected with you spiritually. That's why in the Bible, Nazarites were not Nazarites. Christ, forgive me. I can't remember the exact the title that they held, but for example, Samson was instructed not to cut his hair as a covenant between him and God. Now, you may not be conscious of it. Locks hold energy. Your hair holds energy. Your hair holds with you the energies and feelings that you experience during the time that you have it. That is why when you hear women nowadays talking about, oh, I cut my hair and I feel so freeing, it's because all the strife and anguish that they may have carried throughout however many years they were growing their hair. The hair is a physical representation of a spiritual significance. And so for me, cutting my hair was so profound because I finally reached another level. Like I said, I don't believe in new year, new me. I believe in new year, new level. You're the same person. If you learn nothing from your previous mistakes, then the past was worthless. So that's a large portion of why I cut my hair and why I left the job I was at. I needed a new environment, surroundings. Because what we also tend to fail to realize is your surroundings have a profound effect on you. There was a post I shared, and the post basically said, if you put a single rotten fruit in a basket with good fruit, the good fruit does not save the rotten fruit. The rotten fruit infects all of the good fruit. So what that means is no matter how good the fruit is, if the environment is in any way toxic, the fruit will then suffer. And that's what happened to me. And I'm not saying that everybody in my previous job was toxic or that everybody was wrong. No, it's a simple fact that for me, that environment was no longer fruitful and became toxic. I do not regret my time there. I do not regret anybody that I met there. Everything that I went through, good and bad, over these past 2 years was good for me. Everything, no matter how bad, no matter how good, everything was good for me because it had a purpose. The way I ended my 2018, if you had insight into every minute detail, some of you I will get to tell everything that went down. I may even tell all of you later on in the future. But again, everything that went down at the end of my 2018 was breaking. That's why you didn't see me on social media for 2 weeks. There was time that I needed. There was a request made. My wife had asked me to close down my social media because of what was going on. And so I did, because regardless of how I felt in the moment, I knew that there was something on the other end that I needed to get to. And that if I was not willing to let go of the current things that I was holding on to, I would not be able to move forward. It's true about life. Look, I'm gonna give you an example right now. So I'm gonna stand right here at this tree. My dog over there, right? He over there by that pole. Now, if I wanna get to my dog, I've got to move away from this tree. But if I'm holding on to this tree, no matter how hard I pull, I can move forward a little bit, but I can't get over there because I'm holding on to this tree. I won't be able to move forward until I let go. Then I can move freely. That's another part of why I left the job where I was at. You see, I had to get away from the things that were toxic for me, but I also had to let go of anything I was trying to hold on to. You see, I was already planning to leave that job before this course of events transpired. I'd already come to the decision that I was going to leave that job for something else. The only difference that happened with this course of events was it happened a lot faster. And it was something that was needed because it needed to be therapeutic and happen immediately. You see, the journey of change is never immediate, but there are some things that do happen in the split second. For example, in talking about reaching new levels, when a baby is being born, the process of conception and the incubation and then birth, it all takes time. But there are pieces of that journey that happen instantly. When a baby is conceived, the sperm hits that egg cell and the life starts right there immediately. Then there's the incubation process of the 9 months, broken up into 3 segments. And then there is the birthing process. The mother's mucus plug comes out, the water breaks, and then depending upon the level of readiness, the baby comes out. Now, we all understand that the water breaking is an immediate process. It's something that usually happens like that. The process of birthing the baby could take hours, could take minutes. But at that final moment of extraction that happens fairly quickly, no matter how many hours the mother spent pushing, once that baby's head has come out and it's pulled out, it is immediate. So there are portions of a change journey of reaching a new dimension that must happen immediately. There are other portions that must take time. And it is for those reasons, all these reasons that I just talked about, that I cut my hair and I changed my job. I am so happy right now. Again, the reason why I wanted to do this was to explain to you why I was doing what I was doing, but also to help any of you grab the understanding that if you set a resolution for the new year, don't take it lightly. Resolution comes from the word resolve. You have become resolute in a decision that something had to change. And because of that decision, you made a conscious effort to let the world know this is what I'm changing for this new year. Don't let that resolution die in these first 2 weeks. Don't let it die in these first 2 months. Let that resolution take hold. Let it be real. Because if not, what's the point in telling the world you was gonna do it? I say all this with love, because I want for every last person that I know to be better and to be blessed. The fact is, if you want something to be better for yourself, you have to go through the dirt of it. You have to go through the sewers sometime. You must be at the bottom at some point in order to go to the top. And that's what the end of this past year was for me. I had hit my rock bottom. And it was only after that point I was able to start the climb upward. So whatever it is you're going through, whatever resolutions you have set, remember that it is going to take time to get that change. It's going to be difficult. It's going to be uncomfortable. And if you're not ready for it, then you're not ready for the change that you asked for. But if you feel that you're ready for the change that you asked for, stand yourself firm. Plant your feet and keep moving forward toward that goal. I'm gonna go ahead and let y'all go, get about your business, get back to your work. I know your lunch hour probably over. Quick notes, I will be coming back with Football Focus. Possibly be doing that every week. I haven't mapped out exactly the timing of when I want to do that. I know I held you for a long time. I thank you for being here. Thank you for experiencing this. Thank you for giving me your time. I pray that you are blessed. I pray that in any way, shape, or form I've been able to help or bless you. And I pray that you bless others as you have been blessed. All right, Grayson, say bye-bye. He ain't paying no mind. I love y'all from the bottom of my heart, and I mean that. Peace and love to all of one. Talk to you later.